The sad irony is that I was a big fan of Blake's. And when her name came up, I was like, she really is a great actress. I really like her vibe as an actor. I think she's very natural and giving in these scenes. And I I was like, it's got to be her. I think she would be great. So sorry, I guess, for that, because then working with her, I was stoked. I met her the day that I was there, and afterwards I talked to Justin and I was like, am I wrong or was that kind of vibe a little bit weird? And he goes, I didn't want to tell you this, but when I told her that I was casting you in this role, she said, he doesn't have enough credits. She came into the room as the most powerful person in the room. She was a producer. She inserted herself in every creative decision. Nothing happened that she wasn't in charge of, if not, Justin's the director, but her voice is heard. I don't know if you've had the chance to meet her. She is not a wilting flower. She is very confident and firm. She's one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. She has a presence, and there was no question that she was getting whatever she wanted. So hearing her description of, oh, she's nude and she's so uncomfortable that I'm there in the scene, and the insinuations were so insulting. Anyway,
When you say you met her for the first time, what exactly what day was that?
oh, that was the day I was shooting the scene. So that was the only time I met her.
What are your thoughts on Blake arriving at the Met Gala right after the news broke that Blake and Justin had settled this lawsuit?
I mean, I said this to somebody today. I was like, if you could hear eyes roll, I just this is what I told Pierce Morgan this, and I mean it. I really do feel sorry for her, because I see those things as kind of desperate PR attempts to try to prove that everything is, I guess, their version of normal. I don't know. It just feels contrived, orchestrated. It feels hollow. It feels like I've said this as well. This I like this analogy, so forgive me for leaning into it. But growing up in New York City and in New York in general, I loved going to the city and see the Macy's Day window displays for Christmas, and like so beautiful, and the presents that they had there were so shiny and wrapped, and it was awesome. And there's nothing in them. So beautiful. What a great idea, this promise of whatever. And to me, that's how it feels. It feels very hollow, it feels very empty. And after the news comes out about how, $60 million, the lawyers get paid. The lawyers are rich. The lawyers got, I mean, it's a good day for lawyers.
Do you know what Justin was doing while Blake was at the Met Gala?
Justin's with his family. And also, like, I think he's getting over a cold. It's just like the weight and the emotional stress that this puts on him. He's a real person. To me, that's what I get from all this.
Mhm.
He's out here experiencing all of this chaos like a human person would, and it's insurmountable, the amount of let me drag your name through the mud. And his heart is on his sleeve, and he's legit. He's the real deal, and that's hard for people because it can come across cheesy at worst.
And how is he feeling after how is he feeling about the settlement?
Well, that's the thing, is that there's this relief because you won. The Blake's team comes crawling in, like after all their talk about how, we want 400 million this, and we're doing this for everybody, and we have all this mountain of evidence. And then all of a sudden, okay, where did it all go? Why did you settle? If you were gonna, because they weren't, and they were losing and they lost, and that's why everybody was excited for the trial. I was excited to testify. Everyone was excited for the trial. Now I can say that because even though I'm associated, my name's not really being dragged like they are. There's no cost really. There's a fear of going up against the most powerful people in Hollywood. I still have, like, even from our little chat here, like, what are they going to do to me? Their lawyers are scary. That's why, not coming out until now to say all this stuff was strategic, because I wanted to say it in court. We have to watch them try to weave this manipulation of events and their version of events forgive me, their version of what it is into what's going to slander Justin and his family and try to take like they weaponized Jamie's birthing video, Jamie and Natasha. It's the most precious moment. And it was this underwater situation. She's submerged. You couldn't even see her. And they shared it as friends. That's the thing that I would say if I was to say Justin wants to not do again in the future is that insecurity that comes from wanting to be friends with these influential people that you have this admiration for, maybe this respect in the industry, because how could you not? The idea of Blake and Ryan is so big. And I think that put Justin into a vulnerable place that made him seek kind of their validation for his ideas. And then that exposed him. The emotional cost of what this process has been for him, his wife, his kids, like that needs time to heal. Because again, he's not out here to be famous. He's not out here to be the center of attention like that. He wants to tell great stories and then use whatever notoriety comes from that to continue to tell great stories on bigger scale, to bigger venues.
And I want to ask, what were your personal interactions like with Blake on set while you were filming and just behind the scenes in general?
Sure. Very, very little, very minimal. Just because I am a professional and I have been on many sets, thankfully. I don't have the privilege of growing up in a, you know, the family or whatever of actors and things. But I've been privileged enough to book some work. I was a professional. So my engagement with her was only when it was invited or we're talking about the scene. And so there was, after we cut and wrapped, I just said she was great. That was great because she was. It was a great scene. And what made it into the film turned into a montage. But between Justin and her, and you can see kind of like the picture that they use is like Justin's got a hand on her leg and they're talking. All of that they talked through. All of that was decided. The improv stuff was she's pretending to have a baby, but she's fully covered. She's covered with a prosthetic that went way up. She's covered with that hospital gown that you see, always was. Maybe like a shoulder peekaboo. That was it. And then she was wearing black shorts and whatever else she was wearing. There's nothing to see, nothing to look at. And then I'm not where a gynecologist would be to actually deliver a child. I'm way back holding a real baby to then lift up and pretend.
Yeah. Was there any